Hi guys, I'm Stacy, and this is a little illegal, this book. It is Alcatraz versus the evil librarians, and since we live in the Hushlands, the librarians don't want to believe this is a modern fantasy. Well, they want us to believe it's a modern fantasy, but it's an autobiographical account of Alcatraz saving the freelance. This is the first book of 5, and his pen name, Brandon Sanderson. And to make the librarians happy, we're going to say it's modern fantasy. So, this is Alcatraz saying how he came to be this great hero to save the freelance. And how he does that is through a series of misadventures and his talent for breaking things. So, here's a really funny introduction to it. A hero with an incredible talent for breaking things. A life or death mission to rescue a bag of sand. A fearsome threat from a powerful secret network that rules the world, the evil librarians. So that's just a very basic gist of this book. He has this incredible talent for breaking things, and he ends up on this adventure in the downtown library with his grandpa Smedry, his soon-to-be friend Bastille, a knight. She's his age. They don't quite get along in this book, but they become friends later. And his 2 cousins, Quentin and Sing Sing. And it's really fun to read. He has to save this bag of sand, which will become a pair of powerful ocular lenses. That's what it's called. Eyeglasses, basically. Brandon Sanderson, the author, he makes glasses rather cool in this book. They each have a special thing that they do. You put one on and you can see things you can't normally see. Those are the basic lenses. And he also Alcatraz gets to use tracker lenses that he puts on, and he can see people's footprints as he's wandering this library. And the library that we normally see is actually just what the librarians want us to see. Just to let you know. And he also has this cool pair of Firebringer lenses, I think they're called. And they shoot laser beams, and it's a really important part in this book. It's actually kind of how he saves the day. Hint. Sorry. They save the inheritance, and all's pretty good at the end of this book. Unless if you read the very end of the book before you're supposed to, you might get in trouble if you do. But that's one of the reasons why I love this book. So, this book actually talks about some rather interesting things in this. It talks about sensory issues a little bit, because the librarians have taken over this world and we're kept in ignorance. And while we know this really isn't true, we can believe it's true because, well, we've been brainwashed. And a lot of the technologies are talked about in this book. The cool glasses, the Smedry gifts, which really just kind of glorify all our quirks and stuff. Things that we don't normally like about ourselves. He makes them these fabulous gifts that are revered in the freelance, I guess you could say. And so I really like this book. I read it in my freshman year of high school, and because my grandma recommended it, and she's a librarian. She's not evil though. Anyway, this book kind of has this Lemony Snicket, Percy Jackson feel to it. He talks about chapter 14. He goes off on these little rants, a little bit like Lemony Snicket. And he says, "Now if you are ever writing a story such as this, you should know something. Never interrupt the flow of a good action scene by interjecting Needless explanations. I did this once, chapter 14 of an otherwise very exciting story. I regret it to this day. And this is in chapter 14. That's my bookmark. He just has all these rather snarky remarks throughout the book. And it's very geared toward the middle school age. And people like me who appreciate this type of humor. Is this a book I would recommend to just anyone? Probably not. He's so snarky. And it's in either you love it or you don't kind of thing. And things that I think it would really connect to are the younger people who, you know, don't quite fit in. They have a quirk or something that they're not proud of, but people make them feel ashamed about. Like Alcatraz, where he breaks things. That is generally looked down on, but somehow it's cool in this book, and he has to learn to accept it in this book. And it's kind of what we have to deal with in our own lives. And another thing about this book is that it talks about what is an advanced technology. I mean, it talks about guns being antiques and the cars. Oh, they're so antique. But we really revere our technology now, especially now. I mean, this book's 10 years old, but technology has advanced so much, and how could we really think of our technology as being ancient? So he kind of addresses kind of the flaws in our society, I guess. And another thing is that this book would be really good to use for students, in that you could have them pick out a smedgery gift. Like me, I'm really good at forgetting things or being embarrassed on videos. And I really like how he kind of glorifies these bad traits that we have, making them a good thing. And another thing you could have students do is to kind of create their own technologies and make their own ocular lenses or cool weapons, like a crystal sword like they have in this book, or, you know, cool wood things, I don't know. In this one he does glass, so that's a cool thing. And they could create their own secret society, whether it's good or bad. And you could even take it on a more serious note and ask the students how they feel about not being told things and stuff. So this is an overall really fun book. There's so many funny parts in it that I can never share them all. I'd recommend it to people who have a quick sense of humor. And even to those who don't, give it a try. Even if it is illegal, according to the librarians.